Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown. Well, it's definitely gut check time for the Edmonton Oilers, down 3-0 here in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Stanley Cup will be in Rogers Place tomorrow night when the Oilers and Panthers face off. Hopefully it is not for the final time. I've tried to stay upbeat, positive for you guys this week. Try to be a positive force for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm going to continue to do that. The best the Oilers can do right now is just take it one game, one win at a time. It looks pretty insurmountable right now. You got to win 4 straight games against a team that is playing exceptionally well in the Florida Panthers. In particular, their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky, who likely takes home the Conn Smythe when everything's all said and done here. But maybe it could be an Oiler taking home that Conn Smythe if they can pull off a 4-game comeback here. Like I said, it seems insurmountable, but if there's a team that can do it, I believe it is this Edmonton Oilers team that went on a 16-game winning streak, found a way back from last place to the Stanley Cup Finals. I know it's 4 straight wins you have to get against one team, which is obviously infinitely harder than beating 4 separate teams, but there's a way to it. I believe I read earlier today it was like 1942, the only team, the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs, that have won 4 straight to take the Stanley Cup. So the Oilers would have to be breaking some pretty new ground here to get it done. But I'm going to stay positive, take it one game at a time with them. If it happens, it happens. If not, it's been an incredible season. But we're going to save that for later. I believe the Oilers are going to win Game 4 and at least send us back to Florida for Game 5. Taking a look at the Oilers' potential lineup for Game 4 tomorrow night, Tony Brouwer posted the following: a top line of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, and Zach Hyman, a second line of Warren Foegele, Leon Draisaitl, and Corey Perry, a third line of Matthias Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown, and a fourth line of Dylan Holloway, Ryan McLeod, and Derek Ryan. Lane Peterson, Sam Carrick, and Sam Gagner were skating as the fifth line there. Sam Gagner did come out and take part in the full practice. This video here you're seeing courtesy of Tony Brouwer that he took at today's practice. So you guys know my hope that Sam Gagner was going to get into this series at some point. With him skating on the fifth line there, it does not look like it's going to happen. According to this roster as well, it looks like Stuart Skinner will be the starter, and Darnell Nurse and Evander Kane were not on the ice for practice. I don't think it looks good for Evander Kane at this point. I won't be surprised if we don't see him at all for the rest of the playoff run. Darnell Nurse, kind of iffy up in the air right now. Ekholm Bouchard, Kulak Ceci, Broberg, Desharnais, the pairings. Ben Gleason and Phil Kemp skating as the fourth pairing on defense there. So we'll see what happens here, guys, but likely no Darnell Nurse or Evander Kane for Game 4. More likely that Darnell Nurse could be a game-time decision coming in. A little disappointing that it doesn't look like Sam Gagner is going to get in. I think he's deserving of at least playing in one game. I know a lot of people have mentioned he hasn't played in months, and that's true, but he's been on the ice practicing. And we know he's not hurt, unlike a lot of guys that are on the roster right now. And I think that's one of the biggest factors that hasn't been talked about enough is the injury factor. I mean, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, Evan Bouchard, all these guys have been kept off the score sheet. McDavid did get an assist in Game 3, I believe, there, but no goals for any of those guys. And you have to think that some kind of injury is bugging all of them. The Panthers have done a great shutdown style here, obviously, in the finals, and Sergei Bobrovsky's been sensational. I believe he had close to the top save percentage in at least a long time in the Stanley Cup Finals. So the Oilers have faced a lot of tough odds to score a goal here in the Stanley Cup Finals, but you have to think going through 3 rounds, injuries is playing a major factor with this team at this point as well. The Florida Panthers, I just think, are the healthier team as well at this point. Not to say that they aren't battling injuries. If you make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, your team has injuries, but I think the Oilers are the team that is hurting more at this point. Last night, Connor McDavid just calling for fans to keep cheering. It's not over until it's over. Like I said, I'm going to stay a positive force until this series wraps up here one way or another. The Oilers are my team, and I'm so proud of how far they've come here, and going to keep cheering until it's all said and done. Stuart Skinner was quoted last night saying he isn't aware of the NHL stats for teams trailing 0-3 in a series, but adds, if anyone can do it to come back, it's the Oil. And that's the kind of positive attitude you want to see from the team. Head coach Chris Knobloch mentioned in his availability today he's going to try and keep the optimism up, but he believes in that locker room. It's already there. Like I said to start this video, I know it seems insurmountable. Most people don't believe they can do it, and it's going to be a very, very difficult task against a very good team in the Florida Panthers, but I believe the Oilers can get it done, just taking it one game, one win at a time. One other note I just wanted to touch on tonight was another possible Edmonton Oilers GM candidate for when Ken Holland's 5-year contract wraps up at the end of this season. The other day, Pierre LeBrun reported that Laurence Gilman had parted ways with the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. It was a mutual decision. His deal expired at the end of this month. A veteran hockey executive, now on the open market, should draw interest. And Wood Guy on Twitter put out this question: does anyone know if there is a connection between Jeff Jackson and Laurence Gilman? And Blue Bullet Brad replied, Dave Gagne, who worked with Jeff Jackson at Wasserman Hockey, was the director of player development from 2009 to 2013 with the Canucks when Gilman was assistant GM. So Laurence Gilman giving up a pretty good gig with the Toronto Maple Leafs as assistant general manager. I've seen a lot of reports that he should have got more credit for the work he did with Toronto when Kyle Dubas was there as general manager. New GM Brad Treliving inherited Laurence Gilman, which makes this decision for Gilman to leave not too surprising. Brad Treliving and Laurence Gilman did work together for a year, but with a bit of connection there with Laurence Gilman, Jeff Jackson, Dave Gagne, perhaps Gilman is being considered for the Oilers general manager position that will be opening up. I've read a lot of reports that he's highly coveted. Could be somebody to watch here as a general manager candidate for the Edmonton Oilers. Haven't seen anything really directly connecting him to the Edmonton Oilers as of yet, but a name to watch here going forward. But with all that said, I think that's all I got for now, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Do the Oilers win Game 4 here, force a Game 5 back in Florida? What do you think about Laurence Gilman as a possible general manager candidate for the Edmonton Oilers? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.